Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sophia Carey and I'm a fashion photographer and graphic designer from the UK. You can ignore these decorations behind me. It was my birthday this week and we haven't got around to taking them down. So in today's video, I'm going to be introducing a new segment onto the channel and it's called Monthly Favourites. So in this segment, I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I have found throughout the month that I've enjoyed. So that could be, you know, podcasts, films, books, anything kind of related to creativity and photography, design, that kind of stuff. There's going to be some timestamps on the screen if there's one thing that you kind of want to get to more than the other. So today I'm going to be talking about a podcast, 2 books, a photographer and a camera strap, or a series of camera straps. First up, I want to talk about a podcast series set up by my good friend Iz. He is a photographer from Manchester and you guys might have seen him on this channel before. We did a 2 photographers shoot the same model video probably about this time last year. But Iz essentially has set up this new podcast series throughout lockdown called Time Out, and it follows the journeys of a few different creatives across different disciplines. So he's had stylists, photographers, filmmakers, etc. on this podcast, talking about, you know, creativity, the industry, how they make money, how they stay inspired, anything you can kind of think about the creative realm, is that the word? Iz has spoken about it on that podcast, so I definitely head over and check it out. There's some really inspiring people on the podcast and I know I've learned a lot. It's really important, I think, to listen to other people's experiences and to hear their journeys through the creative industry, and there's definitely a few on there that I would definitely recommend watching. I will link it in the description. I was also honoured enough to be interviewed by Iz and we have a podcast up on the series as well. I will link that in the description as well if you guys want to check it out. Next up, we are going to be talking about this book right here. So this book is called 365 Days of Creativity and I was kindly gifted this by my friend Ellie. Shout out Ellie. So yeah, it's a really good book that sits on my desk, lives on my desk, and you know, in times like now where we're working a lot from home and some of us aren't really having the creative outlets that we're used to, it's a good tool to kind of reignite those creative muscles that we might not be using. So the book, as the title suggests, includes 365 tasks, a little bit like a Wreck This Journal, if you guys have got a Wreck This Journal or have heard of it. So there's 365 tasks here and they are separated by how you're feeling that day. So are you feeling inspired, are you feeling calm, or do you want to feel calm, for example, or energetic, reflective, and it's all color coded so you can kind of see really clearly what tasks and activities relate to you best. And yeah, I'm not too far into it. I've kind of just chosen the ones I want to do rather than gone through it 1 to 365, but so far I'm really enjoying this. I will link it in the description. There's some really cool things in here to keep you inspired and keep you creative. I also find that it's a really good thing to have on your desk for when you want to take a break from your work. If you've been working for a long period of time and you want to take like a 15-minute break, it can be good to kind of switch up what you're doing, or if you're experiencing some sort of creative block. You know, like I spoke about in my video about staying motivated, sometimes what you need to beat a creative block is be creative in a different way to the kind of creativity that you're struggling with, and this book is definitely good for that. So next on my list is Narcography, and Narcography is an amazing photographer from London. Her name's Paula, but she goes by the name of Narcography and her work is beautiful. I'll put a link to her Instagram and her website in the description, but I'd really recommend you guys head over and have a look at her work. In particular, her editorial work is stunning. I'll put some examples on the screen so you guys can have a look. Next up, we're going to be talking about my favourite camera straps. So I actually have 2 of these camera straps. I have a pink one and a black one for my Canon and one which is on my Lumix, if you can see now. It's got these really good easy release clips that make it really easy to put your camera strap together. And another great thing about them is these little easy release things allow you to wear the camera strap in different ways. So you can wear it as a harness or around your neck, or, you know, across your body, or however you kind of, sorry, it's banging against the lens. So the brand is Take More Photos. You guys probably have seen stuff about them before. I'll put some photos up of their straps. They have got them in every colour you can kind of imagine, and a really cool team. I definitely recommend getting them. Not only are they comfortable, they look nice, they're easy to put together. I like how there's such a big range of colours as well. You can kind of get them that really fit your personality. I use the black and white one on my Lumix, particularly for when I'm shooting weddings. I think it looks quite smart, and the harness kind of feature where you can clip it differently is just makes it feel a lot more, I don't know, when you've got two bodies, it's a lot easier to kind of have one down by your side than it is holding both of them. If you guys shoot weddings, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, they're really comfortable. I was worried at first because they are like considerably thinner than the ones that you get with your Canon, but really secure, really safe. I've not had any issues with them. And let's be honest, no one really likes the Canon and Lumix straps. They're not the nicest things in the world. So if you are looking for a new strap, I would definitely recommend going and grabbing yourself a Take More Photos one or a few Take More Photos ones. They also sell phone cases and stickers and all of that kind of stuff. And finally, that brings me to my absolute all-time favourite book. This one is a little bit of a cheat. I didn't read this in May, but you know, I wanted to talk about it at some point, and I thought, why not kick off the first in this instalment with my favourite book. So this is something you will have undeniably seen, heard of. Mine's a little bit tattered now, which is a sign of being well read. I read this book about a year ago now, and it is essentially the story of Nike, however you say it, told by Phil Knight, who is the founder. It is a really well written book. It's one of those books that you just keep wanting to read. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than that. It's not very often I find a book where I can easily kind of get into it and get through it very quickly, but this book was one of those. It was something that I read in a very short amount of time. It can kind of be hard to find the time to read, but this book definitely made it easy. So some of the reviews, Bill Gates says it's a refreshing, honest reminder of what the path to business success really looks like. Warren Buffett said, the best book I read last year, Phil is a gifted storyteller, and I agree with that. He is a really good storyteller. It reads like a story. It doesn't really read like most autobiographies do. It's definitely a story of creativity, of resilience, of determination. And I think if you are a creative entrepreneur of any discipline, or an entrepreneur of any discipline, but obviously if you guys are on this channel, then you're probably a creative. But yeah, I definitely recommend reading it. It's an amazingly inspiring story, and it addresses a lot of things that you might have, you know, wanted to know about Nike and the sweatshop scandal. That's really hard to say. The sweatshop scandal, and it talks about, you know, straight from the beginnings, the inspirations behind the brand, how the brand came to be. It is my favourite book. I would read it again and again and again. It is massively inspiring, and I think if any of you are kind of wanting to build something from the ground up and you're looking for that little bit of inspiration, this book's for you. So yeah, that is all for this episode of Monthly Favourites. I don't know how this segment of the channel will evolve in the future, but I am hoping to keep it up. And if you guys have any recommendations of things that I should check out, definitely let me know. I'm always interested in books, in creative resources, blogs, podcasts, all that stuff. Let me know so I can check it out. And yeah, I will be back next month with some more recommendations of what I'm enjoying in June. A big thank you to everyone who is showing support on the channel at the moment. I know the channel's going through a few changes and I'm introducing a lot of new content, but I am hoping to kind of find a rhythm with all of that and it feel a bit more natural. I think when I am able to, you know, when normality resumes a little bit more and I'm able to go back out and shoot more portraiture and more fashion, then some of the content that I know a lot of you probably did subscribe for will be coming back onto the channel. But at the moment I'm just trying to create content with what I've got and what I can, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it and still engaging and learning some stuff from the channel, even though it might not be why you subscribed in the first place. And on that note, if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe and turn on your notification bell. It is really important to help small channels like myself grow. I make content about photography, film photography, digital photography, graphic design, creative entrepreneurship, all of that stuff. the next week's schedule is going to be a little bit different. We've got Homage, the last episode, coming out tomorrow. So if you guys haven't already checked out the rest of that series, go and check it out. There's 5 episodes already up, and then the last one with photographer Alex Piper is coming out tomorrow at 7 p.m. And I've also got a medium format film video coming out next week, as well as the next episode in my graphic design series. So yeah, there's a ton of content coming and I can't wait to share it. As ever, I hope you guys are keeping well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.